Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome again to our real class. In our previous class, we discussed an African poem, Still I Rise, or a non-African poem rather, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. This time we are looking at, again, another non-African poem written by Fleur Adcock. And this one is titled Telephone Call. And this has to do, by way of subject matter, it has to do with the scam associated with luck. Okay, that there is no such thing as luck, especially when it has to do with lottery, okay, and gambling. That people are always being scammed, and there is no such thing as one being obsessed with this idea of luck and all of that. Now, this poem is a dramatic poem. What's a dramatic poem? Dramatic poem is a poem rendered in form of drama with characters and dialogue. Okay, now the speaker in this poem is a woman that has a telephone conversation with people at the Universal Lottery office. They had telephoned her, telling her that she had won lottery, and they asked her how does she feel if she is told that she has won £1,000,000 or even more than £1,000,000. And the woman is amazed. That is the speaker here, okay, because she has not played anything like that for a very long time, and she's surprised. What on earth would make somebody just give her such a big amount of money? And they still told her, congratulations. How would you feel now that you are told that you are a winner? Okay, and the woman is still taken aback. Why? Because she knew she has not played anything of such these several seasons. And they said they just selected few numbers randomly, and her number luckily falls in place, and she now asks how is she going to collect the money. All right, and what she's told shocks her, that they don't deal in money. What they just deal in is experience. That they just want her to have the experience of how people feel when they are told they have won lottery and nothing more. She tries reaching them again, and the telephone goes dead. Okay, that's how people feel, all right, when they are told that they have won lottery, and when all results in what scam and all of that. Okay, that we shouldn't just believe in playing of lottery. Sometimes when they tell you some persons have actually won the lottery, this and that, they are the same persons right in the same office doing the same thing. Nobody has won anything like that. But if you play and fall a victim, they will just take your money, and that will be the end. So that's what they are trying to let us know here, the scam associated with playing of lottery and gambling. Those that are calling you, telling you we have won this before, won this and that, all of them are the same. They are gathered in the same office. In this office where they telephone the woman for, all of them are the same in that office, and they telephone this woman. And when this woman is on the verge of saying, okay, how do I get my money? The telephone line goes dead, and that's the end. They said they just want her to have the experience of how people feel when they are told they won lottery, and not as if she has won any money at all. You see how all of this goes. And the point here is trying to castigate one being obsessed with luck, and it projects the idea of deceit associated with lottery. No such thing as luck. Work for your money. So again, the poem is a free verse written in 48 lines. Each stanza is made up of 8 lines. Okay, and then the poem in total has 48 lines. So in our next video, we are going to look at the themes and of course the various literary devices embedded. Alright, welcome again to our real class. And in our previous video, we discussed the subject matter of Fleur Adcock's telephone call. But this time we are looking at a poem, or the same poem, based on the themes and based on the literary devices that are completely captured and broadly forth in the poem. These are the universal ideas explored in the poem. 1, excitement and expectation. See the excitement and expectations associated with winning a lottery, but the writer is saying it's all scam. Many of them that are calling you, this one won this before, this one won that, the writer is saying all of them are the same. You can see how they disappointed the person they called by dropping the line dead. Alright, the hope of the person is dashed. She thought she had £1,000,000 or more, but all that amounts to nothing. Disillusionment, you see how everything ends up in total hopelessness. the poet is disillusioned at the end of the day, thinking she has won £1,000,000 or even more. By the end of the day, the line went dead. Yes, so it's always calm and it's all a deceit, which is an ally to the theme of disillusionment. It's all a deceit, nothing like, lottery, nothing like gambling. The poet is, of the opinion that we shouldn't rely on gambling or lottery. All is tantamount to nothing. Alright, yes. Then we talk about the literary device, interrogation. Throughout the poem, we find these devices not as a rhetorical question, but the person listening, the woman, that the telephone is being interrogated on how she would feel if she is told right now that she has won £1,000,000 or even more than £1,000,000. She's being interrogated, okay? And then the entire poem is built on metaphor. The poem is more or less like allegorical poem based on, how deceitful, all right, gambling and of course lottery appear to be. And the whole poem entirely built on irony, right? It's ironical that even as she's on the verge of, being happy that she has won lottery, she's actually being disappointed at that point in time. Okay, that yes, you've not won anything. We just want you to have the experience of how people feel when they are told they won lottery and you've not won anything. She wanted to continue the telephone conversation with them, but they ended the call. And then we look at Sinead, okay, the line when dead is used to represent the entire telephone conversation. You know what Sinead does? Using the part to represent the whole. So that line dead or when dead is used to represent the entire telephone conversation the woman had with people in Universal Lottery office. Personification. Okay, now the fact that the persona in the poem personifies, the telephone call, all right, as though it were human, and the lottery office as though it were human, boils down to the use of personification. What's personification? When you use, what is not a person to function as a person, so you are personifying that thing. Enjambment, because the poem is a free verse, you would expect enjambment, which is the continuation of a line of poetry on another for a complete sense to be made. Okay? Yes, in our next class, we are going to be looking at another poem